It's a peanut butter. Munching the first bite for the bread, Jungkook complained to disappointment, realizing it was his dad's morning starter, not his. They, it's chocolate. Then it was Jungkook, his expression shut, as if he was eating something bitter. God, just exchange it. Jungkook went running to Jungkook to take his and jam. You need to make friendship with the peanut butter to grow up healthy. And you need to try chocolate to grow up as charmed. Dada, Jungkook said, and looked up, rolling his eyes at Jungkook, who did the same at his boys. Meow, come here, it's comfy here. He called out his kitten, jumping in Jungkook's lap, and Jungkook was positioning him comfortably as he laid a kiss on his head. You know, Jungkook, you are very aggressive, but I love you with all my heart. He tightly squeezed and giggled at his laugh. I know, right? But more than you love mommy too. Turn around, he stood in between Jungkook's legs and hid his face, winding his eyebrows, asking for an honest answer. Yes, more than mommy, because you make mommy the happiest. Oh, I love you more than I love him too, because it's also you who keep him the happiest. He dreamy smiled, proud of Jungkook. Finish your bread right away and come downstairs, Taekook mostly ordered, which made Jungkook back off in obedience as he ate his bread in a hug and possible bite. Mommy, Uma, he was going toward the kitchen for Taekook when Yoongi and Jimin entered through the main door, seeking his attention. Mama, Appa. His musical voice was cheered up at changing his way and running toward them. He dropped himself on Jungkook for a hug, the kiss of his forehead when he backed off. I missed you. I miss you too, baby. Miss me, Jab. Yoongi pulled him in his arm. I did. I'm sure you didn't. Oh no, I did. First week was a lot for my boy. After this little reunion, Yoongi ran to the second floor, searching for Jungkook, who was sitting in the bedroom. His back was facing Yoongi. Yoongi mischievously cringing, stepping to the foot and walking to him, making no noise at all. Reaching, he bowed his head and kissed Jungkook's nape. Sugar, I can smell you dirty. He scrolled, but busy in typing that laptop. Seriously? Yoongi grunted, hitting his head. He walked in front and was about to take the step only to the kitchen and behind for Jungkook. Another girl was screaming out his mouth. Is that how you welcome your best friend after a whole week of distance? How else do I welcome them? With a kiss in that neck? You have catch fever. Jungkook's mocked voice was turned stressful as if he was looking worried. Yoongi bloodshot eyes and rose a net, hitting his sickness. A bit only. You don't need to freak out. Like my mom, he said and continued while the boys were there, talking downstairs. Then it was the time for them to leave. Jungkook paid their bye to Jungkook first, and chose to privately ask for permission to Taekook. Do you need anything from me? Taekook sat in his things, took up his cheeks, his moist eyes were glaring at the face with love and affection, and Jungkook just shook his head, forcing a smile. Do you want me to stay back? I asked Appa to come at night to take me home. He almost spoke in a whisper, not brave enough to come in a clear voice. His heart was itching to see. Taekook's eyes were longing with him. They juggled, his eyes no longer able to hold their tears back. No, it's okay. Then don't cry, mommy. We'll meet tomorrow anyway. I will miss you. I know. Love, I leave my kitten here for you. You spend your time with him. The little boy was amazed there again, with a sensitive toward him. And I have a surprise for you. Come straight to tomorrow, after you reach hospital, okay? I'll just call you to the night. With a few last kisses in all the part of his faces, Jungkook backed off and ran to his parents, Jimin and Yoongi. This week's both of the couple to leave for their duty. Yoongi and Jimin flew overseas, handing their son to Taeyoung, which made it more difficult for him to get apart even now, so they won't meet regularly in the hospital for the next days. For the now, ideas for Jungkook called Taeyoung mommy and Yoongi were daddy. Bound of them were leading people to assert that he's their son. So, when he himself getting asked, he proudly say that he's son of both of the couples equally. Jungkook called out and walked out of the hall to find him busy playing with his kitten. He left his kitten for me, but this naughty kitten doesn't seem to like me much. The complaint tried to kiss the little being. Again turned his head away from the attack, making him annoy face. Come here. They let the kitten go and locked himself in a tightly hugged in his arm. His tearful cheeks were wetting the shirt. Weakened body were trembling in the hold. He didn't cry because it made him feel like he couldn't get a baby by his own. He cried because he only realized that he wasn't a mother, and he went away from him. At this time, the reason was something else, something that made him cry a lot more, something that made him feel absolutely motherly, even at his absence. After half an hour of crying session for tea and consoling him, they entered the kitchen to prepare their morning meal. They was watching the recipes of our, confused to choose which ones were between them. Love, your own stomach is making voices. Just do it already. Jungkook pressed his body against him behind, his holding his stomach both hands. Caused him smile as his own one step on the top of him and keep them still. They was lost in his dreamy thought. His heart was flirting at that closeness, and his doing as he was nuzzling his waist while clearing his abdomen. No, I'll fail in both of this recipe. Let me make something else. They said we're not willing to waste time in it. I'll say, let's just go for a baby making recipe again now, because it doesn't seem to be interesting in any other for almost an hour. Jungkook joked, too hungry to act scenes anymore, as if he haven't any bread and hour back. Oh, you're forgetting that the only recipe I have been ultimately falling in. Melt, love sorry. He bent and kissed his forehead, inhaling his heavily scent, and to calm his nerve. I want something for you. Anything. It's 9:30 now. Let's play a game. We're for the whole day, till we sleep. You treat me like I'm pregnant. Their mouth were gaps open in shock, not expecting such demand at all. He stretched his neck, staring at him. The gaps at his expression and directly rejected his request, but he knew for a few words of stubbornness and definitely change it. Cook, please. Just for today. We'll be busy for tomorrow again. Prepare breakfast, please. He mumbled and looking away. I got pierced this morning, and that doesn't pain. Now, but please, do it for me. You just need to act like. Love, stop it. You're hurting yourself and me more. Jungkook gently. His warm palm were rubbing against his cheeks while he rested his forehead against him. Please, I begged. It's not a game day, and I don't know how. It's this blade. Come on, it won't hurt. We'll enjoy. They know. It wasn't rude, just his voice or how crazy his wife could be. Look, I want to be treated you as your wife. Pregnant, but right now. Till right, we close our eyes to sleep. That's it. The eyes told that it won't be hurt. What make the day a memorable collection? The memories of our pregnant being for a day that forever be its wake. But Jungkook, it won't hurt him so much that the patient he has been holding within all those years will shatter apart. He no longer would act like it was fine to be able to not be a father. That had been trying for a baby for 10 years long, 120 months, still trying. Had gave them medicines. Even by the mistake, not a single night passed where they both were waked up to pray and cry for a baby, only one. But nevertheless, they don't give up, not yet. Even though both of them don't show the other. The every love-making session they enjoy, or that they awaited a news of her creation arrival with their lives. But for now, Jungkook had given up, finally agreed to play with the game that his wives were brought into that. But he didn't even know if he could play for a single hour. But surprisingly, its work, it was easier because they was having, including the little of the things, like two kisses, even now, and then everything else he thought about other husbands were too. Their pregnant wife, it did him too. He fake all it. The next morning, Tim stretched his muscle, was sitting up. His sleepy eyes were slowly unclosed, and he searched for his husband. But he wasn't in the bed. They then looked at his stomach, a smile were on his lips. As the last day were memorized his back his mind. They placed over. A whimper, except his mouth missing everything about yesterday. How his husband was successfully faked that. He was holding a baby in his womb. How, just a silly demand, he agreed to take him risk for regretting the next day of playing the same. The man was crazily, but domed and loved. So was they. Jungkook. They called out to the bed, guessing he must be on the downstairs, preparing breakfast. They left for the morning routine and exit the room done with that. While they was passing through the room, a little sob and sniffed were earning his attention. They immediately rushed inside and finding him there on the floor, in the position. His eyes were filled with that and the sign. They covered his mouth and not nicely cry. Instead of stepping back, they turned on his nails and went back to the room. They grabbed the paper bag that they had hidden in the closet and made his way to the Jungkook, who was dealing with that. Holding the bag behind, they walked toward him and sat beside. His hand was rising up to carry his bag. Jungkook was muted before they could call him, and he upstairs, but here and drag his face to their chest. Cook, I can't. No anymore. Let's adopt, he said, wiping the tears as they closed, while they hiding him tighter to himself. They sat knitting for a while, letting him cry. And in the entire 10 years, it was only they who always showed the pain out, never him. But because so served, it would build a home inside of him. They know he was equally suffering, and he was only controlling it for their sake. With a kiss beside his ear, they tried to pull him apart, but he refused to let go. Listen to me. It's peace in there, he mumbled, and it turned to the rhythm of the heartbeats. Look at me. They forcefully made him look up, holding his face to hymns. Let's continue the game for the next 8 months. They tried, heavily breathing in his face. His heartbeat shot out at their own drums at the forehead. Jungkook chuckled, not even they were serious. He again bowed his head to get back to his chest, while they tilted his head backward and protest, making groan. I'm 4 weeks pregnant, they spelled out, and his voice, for the distance, would vanish to his face as he watched him shock, tried to confirm the truth, the news for they, and his eyes was back to him. He wiped the tears to have a clear vision and stared at Theo for another minute, the smile getting closer to him. He repeatedly nodding. But, he asked, yet not believing. I lied. Sorry, wasn't it all fake yesterday? From when do you know this? The night before yesterday, saying they pulled the papers back and brought out the pregnancy report and the ultrasound image that passed both of them. The scratch for the hand, scanning them in disbelief while Theo waited for him. Upcoming outburst, the forever awaited blessing just in there. And that is why I found the paper informed. Theo, it says you're pregnant. Jeon Jungkook finally become the father of your baby after 10 years long. It says, we're parents, are not we? Look at him, even joyfully, but we are proud. Yes, we are. He grabbed them and planted a kiss on their forehead and bowed down to pamper his baby with a welcome kiss. Your merciful Almighty to our hearts, let our honor adorn his sporty creature resting inside the womb, affectionately carrying it. You hide it from me, they. With his voice was still contact with that abdomen, and Jungkook complained. I'm sorry. I don't know how to disclose it. They lift his face and I cupped his face. Teardrops for his eyes. I love you. Thank you so much for making me better half, for always being my delicate boy, for being so patient with the trial and for this little creature there. It's your husband. Thank you so much for making me your eternal love, for the love at first sight. No, I know I agreed to marry you in the middle of the night with no thought at all. I love you with every beat of my heart. Taking baby's name. Would you mind if I spend our savings? Jungkook hopefully for the permission kissing him to blink in confusion. On the baby? No, that's a weird stop. For our baby, for charity, all of it. Okay? They giggle in excitement. Their savings was a lot, a very huge amount, and all of which you want to amuse him. Yes, for our baby. Thank you. It's finally what